All right, here we go. So quiet.
Echo,
So eerie.
echo.
All right, we're gonna do the unboxing here today. We got 8 boxes, people.
Felt like I did not order that much, but I guess I did. All right, guys. So treat today. Do the theme is how does this fish play in a community tank? Like, does this a dither fish? Is this a showpiece fish? How does it kind of interact with that? So we're gonna try to do our best answer to that for you guys. Yep. All right. So box number uno. See what magical mysteries we have in here. No heat back today. So those who have never visited the Pacific Northwest, this is the time of the year to start coming up. Summers here are amazing. All right, bag number uno. Tiger turquoise discus. So this is going to be probably your showpiece kind of fish.
This is a centerpiece fish.
Yeah, most likely as a discus tank, it's going to be a discus tank. Now in the shop, we do have lemon tetras, so you can do them with certain tetras. Your biggest factor in play is going to be temperature. So if you're that guy cooking your tank like 88, 90 degrees, pretty much everything's out of play.
I would do cardinals with them. That's the most I really see.
You can do cardinals. My only concern if it was like a monster discus, that might be an issue. But I think like rummy nose, lemon tetras, cardinal tetras, those are like the 3 we sell in shop that could go with the temperature on these guys. And then the rummy nose and lemons are just big enough bodies. These guys should be fine with them. Mm-hmm. Certainly could do like some of your fancy plecos in there, just kind of depending on what your temperature you're running at. Beautiful looking tiger turquoise. I think it's down to 3 discus in the tanks. Sold them all out. Look at that guy. So, wow. Okay, so this guy. Okay, he was just darker like a minute ago. And I was going to say this guy was super light. So I was going to show that as an example of some differentiation there. Yeah. Beautiful fish. These are going to look great once they're in that water. All right, platinum blue guppies.
Let's see them.
Looking kind of good.
Put your hand behind the bag and maybe get some. There you go.
So guppies can go with some tetras. I'd say a little bit caution there, kind of depending on what your tetras you're doing in there. So like I wouldn't do silver tips with these guys. I think silver tips are just going to nip the heck out of their tails. But I think neons, I've certainly sold plenty of neon tetras. Some of the smaller little guys go with the guppies. Kind of it might depend on your water situation. So if you got really hard water, you probably might want to just stick more with the guppies. I think a guppy tank by itself is an awesome looking tank.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
Like they usually kind of drift towards that way. It's either like guppies weren't your thing, you're going to go more towards the tetras, or guppies are your thing, you're going towards the guppies.
Because they just invade your personal space and just like...
Yeah. Now you can certainly do like your other cleaner fish. I think corridoras do great with some of these guys.
Bottom fish.
Bottom fish do awesome with these.
Yep.
All right, what do we got here? Ooh, look at that big old blue phantom.
Dang.
That's a big boy. I've been unable to buy the little baby guys for a while. So this would be kind of like your showpiece. Could be your quote-unquote cleaner fish, or maybe you're the pleco collector. So this would be kind of what I call a showpiece fish for your tank. Mm-hmm. Just kind of differentiation, kind of like showpiece could be like your fancy betta that you're always seeing about, or it could be more of a cryptic kind of guy like this. But like I got a badass looking pleco somewhere in that tank. Well, this guy could be fine.
It's green.
Yeah,
it is green, right?
When they get bigger, in my opinion, my eyes sees them kind of similar.
Okay.
If that's just my opinion. But these guys will go great with like any of your tetras. Corridor albino. Just a good all-purpose cleaner fish, super hardy, tried and true. So like these would be great with those guppies we just looked at a couple bags ago.
So a lot of my tanks are like based on color. These guys really take your eye off other fish because they're like so bright.
I could kind of see that, and that's
so
where
what would you put with them?
So maybe if I'm doing an albino theme in there, or I feel like this complements blue. Like blue? If I'm doing blue, because I kind of like right now we have the blue angelfish in there with the albino corridoras, and we got the blue opal pistos in there.
Okay.
So I kind of like that right there. It just kind of gives a little bit more of a clash on the bottom, but it complements that color in my opinion.
Yeah, because they're so distracting sometimes.
And you're going to want to do a school of these. So this could also be your schooling fish too. If you're not really wanting to do a guppy theme or a tetra theme in there, and you just want to have like my betta, and then I just want to have a horde of corridoras, that's cool.
Hello.
That's Randy.
Hello.
Put him in the thumbnail.
Am I going to be able to get those out, or... Hi, guys. Sorry.
Probably like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Corridor Axelrade. So this would be kind of, in my opinion, a showpiece corridora as opposed to the albino corridoras. Like that could just be like your run-of-the-mill kind of corridor anyone could probably get throughout most of the nation. This is kind of a guy you're going to have to like search for.
What I like about these guys is they're unique, right? not only are they axolotl, but the price is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I like the price because they look like a more expensive fancy Corridoras, but they're $5.99 here at the shop.
I think something like that. I think it's ridiculously
really
cheap.
Yeah. So.
As opposed to we get to this guy, another kind of a
see.
showpiece Corridora.
Yeah.
This is the orange laser, so I think we retail these now like $17.99.
Yeah, so those are way more pricier.
So it's definitely going to be a Corridora when people are like, I want my cool bottom fish for my tank. This is one of them they might go for.
You ever think about doing like an all axolotl tank? That would be pretty cool.
Wow, I would love to do it with like Habrosis Corridors or something like that. So I have 1 billion in a 20-gallon tank.
Yeah.
Some more orange lasers, wrap that up. I think I had 12 of these guys.
Okay. Maybe we got 8 boxes because the bags are really big.
Yeah.
We'll see, right?
We'll see.
Box
Anyway,
opening.
great way to end this little box right here. Some orange, sweet orange lasers. Keep in mind with the Corridors, want to do like 3 and up, more the better.
What's for lunch today?
Subway.
Subway? What's your favorite sandwich at Subway?
I like to do like bacon, salami, and pepperoni, like toasted cheese.
Oh, the Italian one?
Yeah. I think it's just they add bacon to it.
I like Black Forest ham. It's regular.
All right, what do we got? Rummy Nose Wild. This, I
How
think,
they
just
looking?
what?
How they looking? For you?
Super ghostly.
Yeah.
So they're the wild ones. So usually I had tank rays, but I went with the wilds on this order.
You can pick?
Sometimes I have a choice, sometimes I don't. So
Okay.
I went with the wilds on this one. I was just kind of curious on how they were kind of coming in. So these guys are going to look great later. Just a great standard fish, I think, to have your tank. But if you want a more slower paced theme tank, I might not do these guys. They're going to be a little bit more pingy around the tank. Pingy in terms of like there's like,
I was like,
back
what is
and front.
pingy?
Cardinal tetras. Came in decent size. Just a great, I think, all-purpose schooling fish for any tank.
Yep.
I think you can't go wrong with that classic
Can't go
look.
wrong with that, yep.
Kind of, if it ain't broke,
Don't
fix it. That's what I got to think about Cardinal tetras. I don't know what to say. Just a great fish. Don't get too huge, not too aggressive. Look amazing under any light. Look sweet in any tank. I think they make any tank have a pop to them.
Yeah, as long as you have enough of them, right?
Yeah, I would say I would go up more than like 12. Like you want that tank to pop. Like you want your friends to come over. That kind of cool planted tank plants you get from us. That red and blue right there.
Boom. Very retro wave, Robert.
Very retro wave. Stranger Things. All right, CPDs. It's actually, yeah, they got some decent size. Sometimes they come in a little dinky.
Yep. But they're never colorful in the bag.
So this is a fish. I would dedicate more of a tank to these guys. Maybe you do some peaceful bottom fish. That could be like the pygmy corridoras. Maybe you do like a coolie loach in there. But this would be like your main kind of schooling fish in your tank.
Yep.
I think they're just a little too peaceful. They're not going to go fight for food. They want to eat mid-water column. So if you have too many other fish in there, they might not be able to get to that food.
So if you had like a 10-gallon, how many of those would you do?
I'll do like 25.
25?
And
what about tank
well,
mates?
no, I think I'd probably do like 15, I think, in a 10-gallon
15.
tank.
Any tank mates?
I would probably do...
Shrimp.
Yeah, shrimp would be great. And I'm
Yeah.
really liking the look what we have in the shop with that ornate goby in there.
Okay.
Complements that a little bit. And there also will play as your auto sinklets, kind of clean some of that diatom algae around the tank. Get some like dwarf hairgrass in there, Crypt lutea and parva.
They're so fun to watch.
All right, SAEs. Siamese algae eaters. Kind of a required must for any plant tank at some point, I feel like. So this will be like kind of your like, hey, I got algae growing in my tank. You're coming to my shop. What do I get? This is probably a fish you're going to be shown. We sometimes dub them like rental fish. People like buy the
I
fish.
double rental fish.
Yeah, they get them. So they get them when they're small like this, when they're super hungry and eating everything up, and then they bring them back when they're this big. We throw those guys sometimes in our plant tanks. Sometimes we sell them to people who are looking for that bigger SAE for their bigger tanks with the angelfish. But right now, these little guys, great for like a little for your community tank. If you had a 10-gallon tank, you could start one off in there for a while. Once it gets a little bit bigger, you can swap them out if you're lucky to have access to a store like us, or maybe you're able to get that kind of deal going on with one of your local fish shops. If not, then there's probably some other fish like Florida flatfish, mono shrimp, nearite snails you might want to find as a substitute to these guys. Have you had a McChubble?
A what?
A McChubble?
No. What is that?
It's like what's it like McDouble with a McChicken. So it's like bun, burger bun, chicken bun, burger bun.
Oh no.
All right, pea puffers. These came in nice and big again.
They're starting to come
Loving
in
it. So
really
you can actually
giant.
start sexing some of these guys when they get about this big. So looking for like the blue line.
Yeah, the females have the pencil dots on them.
Oh yeah.
They look like they've been poked with pencils.
Mm-hmm.
Males are a little bit more like blurry lines, I think.
Real cool. Awesome little puffer. Luckily, everyone can kind of get access to these, I think, around the nation. Great little entry puffer. It's like the gateway, puffer, into the puffer world. These little Napoleons. So I probably would not recommend those really for the community tank. Some people are able to pull it off, but that's, you know, certain majority, or I mean certain minority there. I'd probably say I feel like the theme on those situations is it seems like they're big tanks are planted up. Seems to be where they're able to pull that off.
Just line of sight.
But I say for your basic 10 to say 29 gallons fish tanks, I don't think I would do that. So.
Yeah.
What is this bag? Ooh, so I was kind of intrigued on these. So the Festivums. A little sick. So this is the cousin of the angelfish. Kind of basically imagine an angelfish out with the tall,
these guys, yeah.
big dorsal, without the dorsal fins. This is the Peru variety. So there's a couple of them in there. And just looking on the search engines, they look really awesome. So right now they're kind of brownish. So I'm really curious to see how these look in about a week. This would certainly be a showpiece kind of fish for your tank. I would probably pick some of your tetras with caution. Make sure these guys don't pick on them, vice versa. This would be kind of a nice alternative to your angelfish or gourami for your tank. And I feel like...
Do they have the same mannerisms and behaviors, or...?
They seem a little more skittish, and I don't know... When we had them in before, they did kind of pester on each other, I noticed. So I think definitely a planted tank would be a good must for these guys.
Okay.
But the people who went home with them, usually they went home with just one, they said they loved them, so... Yeah. Cool fish. I think super underrated. Going to be a little trickier to find in your local pet shops, possibly. Pisto McMasterized, another little showpiece fish.
My favorite.
I think these guys are awesome.
Yeah. Look how much they come up in the bag. Like
they look amazing coming out of the bag.
Yeah.
Caution with some of the tank mates. These guys are a little what's this word Corey likes to use? Ornery.
Yeah, ornery.
They can be a little bullish. I found one thing's nice with I use these guys sometimes if you need a little bit of population control. So if you're doing like endlers, you're like, man, I'm overrun with endlers. You can't get rid of babies. These kind of guys will help keep your population a little bit in check. Talking about movies here. Godzilla. Can't wait. So embarrassing story. My friend, his name was Andy, when I was in like grade school, 2nd grade, I think we were just like, he was getting all the Godzilla movies like straight from Japan. So like they had like the subtitles and everything in there. And we'd make the Godzilla sounds as we were walking through the playground. I think kids thought I was a little special.
Oh, these are back.
Yeah, and I tried to order a bunch and they gave me 3. So that was super disappointing, but these came in pretty good. 3 good looking Amazon puffers. I just wish I had maybe a 0 behind that 3.
Oh, only 3. That kind of sucks that you have to like give them their own tank.
So actually there's 3. So, okay, perfect example here. So if you're going to buy these guys, you're looking at these 3. You either need to do is you want to buy 1, but you're not doing me a favor because you're leaving me with 2 now that might be wanting to have some aggression issues. If you got the tank, take all 3. I think a little bit more is better, kind of disperses that aggression with these guys.
Like a 40-gallon?
I think you can do that easily in the 40
Can you
gallon.
get away with the 29?
I feel like the first one needs to go to the 20 and then an additional 10 gallons for each one. So I feel like a 29, like right now, yes, but I feel as these guys get a little bit bigger, no.
Okay.
These guys can certainly go with tetras, but with caution. I have seen these guys come back where some people said, yeah, they're just not playing ball with some fish. So, all right, so we got some keely fish. So these don't always play ball with other fish. This is going to be, could be like your specimen tank, gold Australs. We do find them working all right with certain fish. That's something you might just have to play around with. Definitely another fish, need a top on there.
Those are awesome.
Those are awesome. It's making me kind of
And they're not your annual killies, right? They're just the regular killies.
That's a regular killie, yep. If I remember correctly. Bolivian rams. So this would be kind of like you're looking for that fish that's not a tetra in your tank. You're looking for like something that could stand out, or maybe you want to do like a little fun breeding project. This would be that fish that kind of fits that bill.
Yeah. So a lot of people that want to keep German blue rams, I'm like, what temperature is your tank? And they're like, it's like 78. I was like, fine, you should get these ones instead.
Yeah.
Instead of the German.
Now they don't pop like the German blue rams, but I gotta say, in my experience, get them a planted up tank. Get
They'll
water.
start coloring up for you, for sure.
Baby that tank. These guys will look pretty cool looking. This is a fish one day, I always love it walking through the store. You're walking by and you have that one tank that like makes you stop. This is one of those tanks that made me stop one day. It was just the piping on the fish. You can kind of see it in one of these guys where he has a little bit like a nice trailer fins with that pink. I was walking by and I just had to like enjoy that tank for about a minute. All right, flame tetras. This is something I haven't had in the shop in a long time. You're like, well, Rob, you ordered yourself some silver fish. These are going to get a little bit more ambery kind of color. So.
Are these what they call the real flame, or just the regular flame?
I feel like the real. I feel like that might be a thing.
Because I think that's what they sell at like PetSmart and Petco, like the real flame.
Maybe. So it's been a fish I haven't seen in a long time. I figured give it a shot again. So.
Looks pretty cool. It's
they don't get
different.
Yeah, they don't get too. I want to say they don't get too much bigger than this. So just kind of a nice little tetra to kind of throw in your tank. It could be your kind of like pizzazz tetra, as I call it, something that might pop in there. But I think it would be a nice complement to something like a green neon tetra in your tank.
That's it.
Yeah, we're going with these smaller boxes. All right. Ooh, a little dwarf anchor catfish. Beat me to it. So, the coolest catfish you'll never see in your tank. Kind of nice little, basically nano fish. So something that goes with like those CPDs we had a little bit earlier. Kind of what I would call like, you're just looking for that oddball fish for your tank. I feel like they don't really do much else in there. I think they're just kind of a cool thing to throw in a tank.
Yeah. Some guy comments like, why you always pinch the fish? We don't pinch the fish, we pinch the bottom so you can see it.
Alright, well, we got here black coolie loaches. So these guys were pretty popular on the floor the other week. Came in
Those
nice.
are big.
Some udon noodles there. So if you're like, I don't like Corridoras, this might be the other fish that fits the bill for you.
If you like that snakish look.
Snakish look. Sometimes kids are super intrigued with that.
Yep.
It's kind of a fun fish, but they're kind of functional too in your bottom of your tank, help clean up stuff, and they're kind of wiggly fun.
A little prehistoric little too.
Yeah, definitely more the better. They love the Lincoln log on each other.
I went to the zoo yesterday. I was kind of sad there weren't any dinosaurs.
Oh. Redhead Tapaho, so I had some requests for these.
So did you like Dean's tank?
Dean's made me want to have these so bad. So anyway, I've been looking for these guys ever since I like left Dean's house.
Yeah.
So someone out there, they're gonna have a sweet tank here. Give them some time; they're gonna look awesome.
Give them some sand.
Give them some
I'll
sand.
post Dean's tank so everybody can see it.
I think that tank looked great because it's just sand and rock, super simple. These guys look amazing in there.
Don't bother escaping it much because
Yeah.
they'll just move things around.
And I feel like with a fish like that, I think you got it right. I think you had Colombian blue tetras, kind of complemented their colors a little bit, but it didn't distract you from these fish because I think your focal point, I think, on that tank is going to be these guys. It's good fish for like if you're trying to do an Amazon bio soap. Sunset honey grommies. I think these could go with almost any fish, in my opinion, as long as the fish doesn't eat these guys. Super peaceful in my experience.
Yeah, I think they're the most peaceful out of all
I
the
sell these in
varieties.
droves. They look amazing. They could be your centerpiece fish. I don't know. They're great. So red cheeks. Oh, these are for me.
What are they?
Trophiops red cheeks albino. So it's just Trophiops species. It's like a Mubuna. So I have my Malawi tank. So I was looking to add some more color to my tank. Look like these guys don't get too big and not too aggressive from what I was reading. Curious to see out there who have played with these. Looks kind of cool. There's a fish I sent Corey. Showed him the name. He says he's never seen or heard of these. So I was like, ooh, score one for Robbie. Fish that he doesn't know about, hasn't played with. So go in some uncharted water. We'll see if Jimmy can maybe do a B-roll film or I could send him a picture of these guys.
Yeah, just send me a picture.
I think they're already looking pretty cool coming out of that bag.
I think that's it.
Oh, we got Odessa barbs here.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Wouldn't be an unboxing if we didn't have it.
Odessas. They will look amazing in about a week or two. Great. I think this is kind of a flashy schooling fish you might have for your attention.
Yeah, kind of nippy though.
Kind of nippy, so it doesn't play well with others. So some caution in there. They're pretty voracious eaters, so if you have a fish that's really timid, not going to be the best tank mate for them. But if you got yourself a tank of good-looking Odessa barbs, I think you're going to be pretty happy. More the better, too, on keeping these guys. I feel a sneeze coming, Jimmy. Don't you hate that when you feel like a sneeze coming?
Yeah, it just itches.
It's just there.
Let it out, man.
I don't want to do that. People laugh at me. Lima vitata. So, this is the Lima Cuban species.
Okay, so closely related to the tridents. Very closely.
So we'll make sure we don't throw them in that tank.
Yeah.
I thought these guys look kind of cool, kind of like a little bit of a molly-ish look, you know, or with a little bit of swordtail kind of coloration in there. Usually have like a ridiculously long gonopodium for the males. Nice little interesting live bear, so I'm sure the live bear nerds will love it, seeing these in the shop.
Yep, Nick's gonna love it.
Yeah, he's gonna like freak out. Another live bear. So those I think would be fine if you're doing like with platies. I think we found that platies played pretty well with those guys. Red bronze guppies. A nice red. Trying to get some nice.
I thought that said 250.
250.
I was like, whoa.
That's a lot of guppies.
Blue tabs. Get yours at aquariumcoop.com.
Great for Amazon store. What's your favorite fish you've seen so far?
CPDs.
CPD. They're kind of good.
The pistol rednecks are awesome too. I like them.
Ronald McDonald colors on there.
Yep.
All right. Polypus and Lechiri.
Whoa!
So this guy.
That's the best marble coloring I've seen on a biker.
Will probably eat most fish we've looked at today on this table.
All of them.
So he's going to be a fish that you're going to like look for this fish. This is going to be a centerpiece kind of monster fish for your tank, or if you're like a bite. How people kind of collect plecos. People collect polypus species. So nice kind of gateway one into kind of getting into like the weirder kind of species of polypus, because I think there's like 30 species off my head I could think of. They're going to get a decent size. I want to say 2 feet. I want to say maybe in that area. So yeah, they will eat. They're little pack machines. Nevertheless, cool fish. Great for those arowana. So if you're throwing these into like a community tank, it's going to be large cichlids like your Oscars. Maybe you got your arowanas. Maybe you have your stingrays, flagtail procolotus. Some of the larger species of gourami. You might get along with these guys. So.
Pew, pew, pew.
Singapore shrimp. Do not put that with the polypus. Came a little smaller.
Unless you're balling.
Yeah. So just kind of nice shrimp throwing. I think I have it in the community tank in the shop, so they're doing pretty good in there, like little filter feeders in the back of the tank. So I think just keep them with small cichlids and your tetras. Stiphodon ornatus. So I've been selling the heck out of these. The ornate goby.
They're just so cool, man.
Yeah. When they color up,
They just mind their own business and do their own thing.
people have been falling in love with these. Found kind of a nice alternative for like auto sinklets for some of the other tanks. Constantly munching away on algae. If you ever come to the shop, take a look at our little nano tank with one of these guys.
You'll fall in love.
Always eating. It's
They
amazing.
got cute faces. I want a sugar glider.
Dude, some girl brought one in like the other day in the shop.
Really?
It was just like like it was frightfully adorable.
You guys keep sugar gliders. Let us know in the comments below and what you think of them.
We had one came in the shop the other day. It was interesting.
Interesting. He just made a weird noise. Maybe I'll put it up for you guys, or maybe he can do it for you guys. It's recorded.
Oh, I don't think that's a good representation. Usually I can mimic things. So like, it made me stop what I was doing. I was like 30 yards away. I'm like, what is that? Erythromycon. I haven't had these in for a while, so this is a nice alternative to the CPDs. Can't get your hands on CPD? Maybe your shop has the Erythromycon. This would be these guys, though.
Yeah, they even still have Petco and stuff. I've seen.
Oh, they do? Okay. I found them to be a little bit more skittish. they seem to hang out more on the bottom. So if you're looking for that upper fish, that might be something maybe you want to put like that rainbow fish up on top, like the thread fins.
Yeah, they're also known as emerald dwarf rasboras. On occasion, I've seen some pictures where they breed with CPDs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Some more axolotl corridoras. Wow. 10 boxes later, find the rest of the bag.
I know. And more. That's a Trilanis.
Trilanis.
What's in this one?
That's it.
That's it.
That's
All
it.
right.
A little anticlimactic there.
8 boxes done.
Done.
This is going to be the longest unboxing ever.
Is it?
We did it.
I feel like we had some great info in there.
Yeah, we did.
Shoot us a comment if you guys got a suggestion on what you'd like to see. If you like what you've seen here. Want us like, what kind of fish go great with 29 gallons, something like that.
Yeah, give us some ideas.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next one, folks. Bye, Robert.
Bye.